acclaimed two-time author and motivational speaker extraordinaire. Give it up for the host of the Brandon Holt Show. It's Brandon Holt!
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Brandon Holt Show. This is episode number 14. Thank you for everybody for tuning in over the last several weeks. Tonight we have an amazing lineup in store for you. To kick off the show, we have international recording artist Brooklyn James, all the way from Los Angeles, California. Everybody help me welcome the lovely Brooklyn James.
It's a pleasure to be here, y'all. And I'm going to start off with this song called I Love Myself, because I think that everyone should love themselves, right? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Listen. From the foundation for my every curve, every strand of hair, you placed it perfectly. Fit the description, artist, what you were. I'd be a fool to ever try to improve. Look at my eyes, I'm simply a reflection. Peer in my soul and get a glimpse of baby. Have no desire to change your masterpiece. I'm beautiful just the way you made me. Yeah. Wish I could give you this feeling. Man, I love myself. Couldn't see being no one else. Man, I love this feeling. From the crown of my head all the way down to the soles of my feet. Every single inch of me was purposely made. Listen, it took me some time to understand that my existence was all of your plan. Everything that I was searching for was inside of me, and loving me was all I ever needed. Yeah. I wish I could give you this feeling. Yeah. This feeling. Learning to love yourself. It is the greatest love of all. I love myself. For my household that sing with me, y'all. I love myself. Oh, I love myself. Sopranos, that was for y'all. Sing with me. I love myself. Fellas, I got something for y'all too, but ride it out. Here it goes. I love myself. I learned to love myself. I love myself. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. I I hope y'all like that. See, I got my heart on too. Sharing a
Hey,
little
everybody, put your hands together for the one and only lovely international recording artist, Brooklyn James. She'll be back at the end of the show to send us out with another musical performance. Thank you, Brooklyn.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right, we'll see you in a few. Everybody, let me welcome my next guest is an author all the way from Houston, Texas, H-Town. She resembles eloquence. She's classy and she has a lot of style. Today, she's here to share with us the story of the first book she wrote, and she's writing a second book. Help me welcome the one and only Golden Love to the show. Golden Love.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Golden Love, thank you for coming on. How is it going down in Houston, Texas?
Oh, it's starting to cool down, so it feels perfect to me.
There you go. So, Golden, you have an amazing story. You have a lot going on. You have wheels turning and shaking.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you want us to know?
I'm Golden Love. I grew up I was born in Orlando, Florida, and migrated to Birmingham, Alabama, where I spent most of my youth. And then we moved to Centralia, Illinois, came back to Birmingham, where my grandfather is the minister, Brother Robert Ivory of the Inner City Singers in Birmingham. So I grew up in the church. He was a minister. And so I know all the good, bad, the ugly, everything that goes on with it. So I migrated to Houston 16 plus years ago and brought my kids here, raised them, and now I'm a member of Trinity Gardens Church of Christ in 5th Ward. So while I've been here, I've been just growing and learning and trying new things. And I started back getting into what I love, which is writing. So with writing, my first book, which will now be my actual second book, is the biography. I came up with this children's book. It just popped in my head. Raising children and knowing how innocent they are and how pure they are. They just love everybody, and they only see the spirit of a person. So this story was birthed in me, and I just came up with the idea of the boy who sees no color. And it just started coming to me. Within like a week, I was finished writing the book. So this book actually posted prior to the one that was originally supposed to be number one.
So take me into your book, The Boy Who Sees No Color. At what age do children start to see color?
You know, as a mother, I would think they start to see it around age 8, 9, 10. But actuality, they have their first experiences or run-in probably in kindergarten or something, you know, with some kids making fun of them or pointing out the differences in their complexions and the way that they speak and the way that their hair looks. So I think probably as early as 4 and 5 years old. So
I noticed you said in one of your previous statements that you've encountered different types of love as a child. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So that's part of my second book. So it's called the A Golden Kind of Love. So you have the love of God, then you have your love of your parents, your first love, which is your father and your mother, and it's a different bond with each person. Then you have the sweet love of your grandparents. They just spoil you and give you a lot of words of wisdom. So from that, then the love of my children that they give me and that I give them is totally different. And and then your spousal love and just your love of your friends, they're like family to you, you know. So and that's what I have. My aunts, my cousins, they're all like sisters and brothers to me. So I want to just kind of expound on that in my book. Just the different types of love.
So how can people purchase a copy of your book?
My publishing company is Author House. So you can go to authorhouse.com, publish it. You can purchase it there with no taxes and no delivery charge. You can also order it on Barnes & Noble, and you can order it on Amazon. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Golden, we have a lot of people tuning in. Greetings from Atlanta. Golden Love, congratulations. From Shannon Ivory. Shannon, thanks for checking in. Whitney Bowers here to support the show tonight. So, Golden, what is it that inspires you for greatness? What can you say to the young person out there who may want to follow in your footsteps and write that first book? Because it seems like your book is not a book that you're trying to sell, but it's a book that you're trying to serve.
Right.
And so what can you say to that young person?
Whatever dreams and goals you have, go ahead and put them into action. Go ahead and start writing it, jotting your ideas down, and don't let anyone discourage you. Go ahead and just make the move. Don't procrastinate. Whatever you feel that's in your heart that you want to get out to the world, go ahead and get it out there.
That is great. Well, everybody, this is author Golden Love, the boy who sees no color. Make sure you check her out on Instagram, Facebook, go on her website, purchase a copy of her book. Golden Love, thank you so much for stopping on the show.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
And let us know when you write that second book so we can bring you back out.
That's right. I'll be ready.
All right, everybody, that's Golden Love. We're going to go to a real quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Brandon thanks owner Craig Joseph of Houston, This Is It Soul Food, and sponsor of The Brandon Holt Show. Be sure and stop by and enjoy some tremendous food. 2712 Blodgett Street, McGregor, Houston, Texas. Thanks, Craig.
All right, everybody, I have 60 quick seconds to tell you some did you know things. I've got some real cool facts. Number 10, did you know the hottest chili pepper in the world is so hot that it could kill you? Did you know, number 9, the world's most densely populated island is the size of 2 soccer fields? Did you know that the man who founded Atari also started Chuck E. Cheese? Interesting. Did you know 7% of American adults believe that chocolate milk came from brown cows? Did you know bananas are curved because they grow toward the sun? Did you know that a cat has been the mayor of Talkeetna, Alaska for the last 15 years? Did you know during your lifetime you will produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools? Did you know, number 3, in Germany, people help toads cross the road? Did you know, number 2, the International Space Station is the most expensive object ever built at $150 billion? And finally, drum roll, please. Everybody drum roll. Number 1, did you know that McDonald's, get this, makes about $75 million a day? And when my kids are with me, they add to that $75 million. So there's your Brandon's Did You Know? Now, we're going to go to our next guest. My next guest is a woman of many talents with a story from trial to triumph. She is the go-to source in Houston, Texas for health and wellness. Help me welcome the one and only, the beautiful Miss Holly Cotton.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Holly. How are you?
Hello, Brandon. I'm great.
Holly, thank you so much for coming on the show from Houston, Texas.
Yes. Well, originally I'm from Houma, Louisiana, but I'll represent Houston, Texas since I'm here now.
Hey, Holly, you got to give a shout out to your hometown.
Houma.
Well, we have somebody watching. Leon Keith, welcome. Dashing Snow. Okay, very good. So people are checking in. So Holly, let's get started. So you're a nurse, you're a professor, a mom, you are a fitness fanatic, an author, and you are also a breast cancer survivor.
Correct.
How do you do it all?
I feel that if I wake up in the morning, that's my cue to get moving. There's no time to just sit in bed all day and do nothing. So if I'm up, I need to make the day count.
So it seems like you invest in people, making the day count. You're helping people in the medical field. You're helping people in the fitness field. But I'm really just grateful and intrigued that you're a breast cancer survivor. What was that process like when you were first diagnosed? And how did you navigate through those difficult times? Because somebody is watching the feed who's in your shoes. Maybe they have a fear of their future and they just want to know, is there any hope out there? Take us through your journey.
Well, that's exactly why I do everything that I do, because I want people to know that there is life after cancer. I was 36 years old when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I actually found my own lump. I got out of the shower and I felt under my arm, and initially I was like, I have cancer. I guess just being a nurse for so long, I kind of already just put it together and went through the whole process, everything, testing, biopsy. And then I remember October 12th, I got the call around 9:30 a.m. and it was my doctor telling me that you have cancer. It's very, very bad. You need to go see one of those doctors that I gave you cards for when you came in for your visit. So completely off guard, just the way that I am, I was like, okay, that's it. So what do we need to do? How do we get over this? So, I just went ahead. I had two options because I was 36, and I try to just be very transparent with my diagnosis, because I want women to know that, we're more than breasts. We're more than, all of these things. You can still be cute and go through all of this stuff. And I think a lot of times there's a stigma. A lot of women don't want to disclose that. Even me, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to just be known as a breast cancer survivor. That was a chapter of my life, and I'm very happy and humbled by it. And I'm very thankful I did overcome it, and I'm still here. But, everything happens for a reason. So I think that because I'm so transparent, a lot of women reach out to me about it, have questions about it. So because I was so young, I went ahead and did the most aggressive treatment. I did get a bilateral mastectomy, and I didn't have to do chemotherapy because I went with the aggressive treatment. So, that was what I chose for me, because my chance of getting breast cancer again, because I was so young, was like 92% of me getting it again. So I was like, no, let's just get it done and be done with it. So, it was just a process. Then again, at 36, I was doing insanity 5 days a week. I could do pull-ups, I could do push-ups. I just thought I was Miss Stuff. I was Miss Fitness Fanatic, and then to go through that where you're basically just down to nothing, and you have to just figure out, okay, am I going to sink or swim? And I chose that I was going to swim. And not only that, but I want to just go ahead and just get involved in the triathlon now, just keep going with it. So that's pretty much philosophy.
So at a young age, it's so common for young people to feel like we're immortal. It can't happen to us. You were working out, you were heavy in fitness insanity. It happened to you. You overcame. So how did your diagnosis impact how you navigate through life today?
Definitely. I live for every day now. Before, I don't want to say that it was a blessing in disguise, but it kind of was, because it definitely humbled me into saying, wow, I could not be here. And along my journey, I've also met so many breast cancer patients that have unfortunately succumbed to the disease, or, have not had the best, outcome. They had a reoccurrence, all of these things. So when I see that on all the time, it just really makes me realize just how great my life is right now. And I'm here for more than just to, take selfies or whatever, I feel like I found my purpose, and my purpose is definitely, being an advocate for breast cancer, being an advocate for women just in general. I try to just bring all of that empowerment, motivate people. And not only that, but just, keep moving. A lot of times, people that follow my group page, Strong Squad, and all of that, I just try to motivate you, because it's so hard if you already don't have the support, and then to get up, and not only get up, but do something, great every single day. And I think that that's pretty much why my purpose is here now, to use that bad thing to say, hey, if I overcame cancer and I'm still out there flipping a tire and kicking butt, you can get up and go do something also.
Holly, tell us about Strong Squad. I like that name, Strong Squad. 2
Thank
years
you.
ago you started it.
Yes. So it's been 2 years since I started Strong Squad. And basically, I just wanted to use what had happened to me and all the people that had come into my life since that point, and join us together as a united, strong front. And I've met so many cancer survivors, and not just breast cancer, but colon cancer, you know, people, prostate cancer, people who have, or on the other side, where their beloved person had cancer and their role to be strong is to be strong for that person, you know, and sometimes that's just as demanding as going through the actual sickness. So not only sickness, but also, you know, anything that you've done in life. I always say that cancer was something that I overcame, but it's no greater than other things that people have done. I couldn't imagine, you know, losing a child or going through some of the things, domestic violence, all of this. So every single thing in life that has happened to you that forced you to have to roll over and say, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I need to get it together. I got to move on. I got to wake up today. That all is part of our whole strong squad. So that's our community. And I throw a little bit of fitness and workout stuff in there too, because of course, that's my passion. So if I can work out and be physically and mentally strong, I'm winning.
Especially with COVID-19, Holly, we all need to be.
I'm telling you,
I've
been posting videos. Right.
So, Holly, you wrote a book? Holly, did I lose you?
Oh, no, I hear you again. I'm sorry, Brittany. Yes.
So, Holly, you're an author. Tell us about your book.
Correct. So after I started Strong Squad, I decided that I also wanted to write about my experience. And also, the whole thing about Strong Squad is that strong is not just physical. Like I said, it's about mental. It's about being able to hold on to your spirituality and whatever brings that strength to you whenever you're down and out. So I wrote my book, Strong is More Than Muscles. And basically I just, you know, document my journey, how I heard about it. It's very helpful to women. I get people all the time that I've never heard of that just say, hey, I bought your book on Amazon and I couldn't put it down. And you let me know what was coming and all of this. So, you know, I use that. And also about being positive and how, you know, you shift from the why me, as in angry, why me, as into why me am I actually still here? Because I have a purpose. And that just kind of opened up my purpose to say, okay, well, no, I don't need to focus on the negative. Let's focus on the positive because I'm here for a reason. Let me figure out what it is. So that's pretty much my book entails all of that great stuff.
And Holly, you are definitely walking in your truth. And I'm going to ask you one more question in just a minute. Everybody who's tuning in, go ahead and comment in the chat section. Let us know where you're checking in from. We're going to put your comment out there. If you have a question for one of our guests and we can get to it, throw your question out there. Follow the show at Brandon Holt Sr., at Brandon Holt Show. Holly, tell us about Shred.
Yes.
Shred. That's what we want to know about. Your fitness accessory line.
Yes. So under Strong Squad, that's my big umbrella. You know, that's my LLC company. That's my baby. But a lot of people, they don't like to work out like I like to work out. I don't know why. So I wanted to make sure that I had another division that was just solely focused on health and wellness and fitness. So Shred, that is my accessory brand. That's my gloves, my bands. I have clothing under that line, anything to help you work out and get in shape, because obviously the healthier you are, whenever you get sick, the better your outcome can be because your body's able to fight off whatever that is. That's why even with COVID, people who are sick, you know, the healthier you are, the better your body can fight off all of that stuff. So that's my whole thing. So I'm not going to force you to work out just because you're part of Strong Squad and you read my book and you're going through your own thing. But I do have Shred. If you want to be fit like me, you can come over and get you your gloves and your bands and all that great stuff.
There you go, everybody. That's Holly Cotton. She's an author. She's a nurse. She has her own clothing line. She's a breast cancer survivor. Holly, how can they follow you on Instagram and how can they purchase your apparel?
Yes. So my website is www.strongsquadfit.com and everything is on there. So I have my book on there. I have all my fitness accessory. This is our great best-selling shirt right here that everyone wears, so you can be part of the Strong Squad. And then just as everyone else said, you can also find my book on all platforms, Google Books, Amazon, barnesandnobles.com, all of that great stuff. I'm available on all those platforms as well.
That is awesome. The Brandon Holt Show, we need a strong squad shirt, Holly.
I got you.
All right, everybody, that's my good friend Holly Cotton, all the way from Houston, Texas. Holly, thank you so much for coming on. And whenever you have another project or another apparel line or another book, let us know. We'd love to have you back on the show.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everybody, give it up for the one and only Holly Cotton. Before we go to our next guest, we're going to take a real quick commercial, and then we'll be right back. Got to pay those bills. Catch you in a minute.
Brandon Holt Show proudly supports author Cheryl Cobb's phenomenal read, Dirty Little Secrets, combat veteran Disney executive Sergeant Major Keith L. Craig's newest monument serving to lead, director, actor Louis T. Powell's award-winning Padlock Men, actor Roe Brooks' remarkable story from extra to actor, the lovely Nikki Chu's hit TV show Unboxed with Nikki Chu, JC's newest release, Suicide, Raheem Devon's newest album, The Love Reunion, Brian McKnight's newest album, Exodus, Grammy Award-winning Jody Watley's latest classic, The Healing, The Voice Season 16, Matthew Johnson's Game Changer, Used. Be sure to show some love.
All right, everybody, my next guest is not in the United States. He's in Istanbul, Turkey. He is a television producer. He's a music producer, has a awesome entertainment company. He's a good man, good friend, Mr. Darryl Johnson. Everybody help me welcome Darryl Johnson to the show. Darryl.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I hope you guys can see me pretty well. Thank you, Brandon.
We can see you great. So where are you, Darryl, exactly?
I'm actually in Istanbul, Turkey. I've been living out here now for November 1st will be 11 years, actually.
You're actually, I know you're from America, but you're our first international guest on the Brandon Holt Show. So history is being made tonight.
and I'm proud to be a part of it, my brother.
Man, we appreciate it, man. Good to have you. So what took you out of the U.S. over to Turkey?
Well, my journey started actually in the military. I spent 8 years in the military, and I lived actually in Germany. After I got out of the military, I stayed in Germany. I was working for the military as a DoD civilian, and that's when I met my Turkish wife at that time, and we then in 2009 we had to move to Istanbul for some unfortunately she had got diagnosed with breast cancer, and we wound up moving to Istanbul to have the treatment and everything out here, and then I wound up staying here.
So this is a special month for your wife as well.
Yes.
So you're in Istanbul, Turkey. You're in the entertainment industry. Kind of take us through what you do on a day-to-day.
Okay, well, on a day-to-day basis, I'm involved in a lot of different things, mostly on the film and entertainment and music side. We shoot a lot of TV commercials out here, and our clients are our international clients. We bring them in from abroad. COVID kind of shut us down a little bit, but we're slowly getting back to business. But that's what we do on the film side. We produce TV commercials. We do full service. I also I'm a director as well. Well, I'm not going to say I'm a director yet. I don't want to give myself that title just yet. But I've directed like 4 music videos, and those led to me getting picked up to direct my first feature film, which is going to be shot mostly here in Istanbul. It's a international comedy, similar to I would say it's similar to Coming to America, Fridays, and Harlem Nights kind of rolled into one. And the title of that project is called That Istanbul-ish, and it's written by my brothers out in New York, Valentino, aka Style Poe. Big up to them. It's a brilliant project. And we started the process of developing that and everything. So right now the plan is to start shooting in December or the first quarter of 2021. There's just a lot of different things going on in the world right now that's going to, decide on when we actually do that. But I'm really excited and ready to get that rolling. Now on the entertainment side, we do international entertainment consultancy. We manage artists, actors, models, directors, you name it. So and we do consultancy in a lot of other disciplines as well. But mostly it's entertainment, but we also do like medical tourism. We do in the food and beverage industry. So we have our hands in a lot of different places.
Hey, Darryl, I'm just wondering, can the Brandon Holt Show get a commercial? Can we get something to kick us off overseas?
Let's do it. Let's do it. And you get the family and friends love, so we can make that happen.
Hey, that's awesome. So what is it that motivates you for greatness? You have a lot of things going from TV to commercials to modeling. What is it that really just drives you for success?
Well, I like to, I'm from I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. I'm from the projects. So I like to, my motivation is to let people or people where I'm from or from the U.S. or my people more or less be able to see there are options out there. There's other things that can be done. That's what I'm passionate about. I like to be a strong role model for my children, especially. And then that's what drives me mostly day to day is my children and not letting them down. So I want their future to be secure so daddy can, one day kick back and let them handle everything. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand. Hey, everybody, this is Darryl Johnson. We're over here chopping it up. If you have a question for Darryl, go ahead and put it in the chat section, Darryl, if that's okay, and we'll ask your question for Darryl. So take a few minutes, put your question out there. Darryl, what's been the most rewarding part of what you do? What's that memorable moment that has always been with you that you'll be able to live to tell your grandchildren and everybody coming behind you?
Just, to see the smiles on people's faces when we deliver something to them, whether it be a concert, whether it be, doing their TV commercials or whatever it may be, just it brings me so much joy to make people smile, to make people happy. This is what brings me the most joy, to be honest with you. Now, as far as me, I'm very passionate about whatever I do. Whether when it was my military time, when it was my time out of the military, whatever it is I'm doing, I'm very passionate about it, and I try to be, the best at what I do. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Did you ever have a moment when you felt like quitting and you
Oh yeah, brother. It was. Let me tell you, it was the first couple of years in Istanbul was rough. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was rough, man. Really. I mean, it was to the point where I was basically at the airport, just said, forget everything and I'm out. But then I just had out of nowhere, a baby started crying, and then I just woke up. And I left the airport, and I've been going hard in the paint ever since.
And I sense the passion in you, and I sense that everything you're telling me is not what you do, but it's who you are. And I just want to encourage you, Darryl, to keep fighting out there, keep pushing, keep going, changing lives. Sometimes we can't see the impact of our work from our perspective, but other people can see it. And from listening to what you're saying, a lot of people have benefited from the passion that you have at your career. So as we kind of wrap this up, Darryl, someone out there is watching this feed who may want to follow in your footsteps. They want to start as an entrepreneur. They may want to act, direct, produce. What can you say to that person that's hungry right now and they want it? What can you say to them?
The best advice I'm going to give is, no matter what, no matter how many doors close, no matter how many no's you hear, no matter how broke you may become following your dreams, don't ever quit. Never. Let me real quick before you have to go. Example what I'm saying, I have a really huge film project that we're bringing to Istanbul in the not so distant future called Nicholas Forever. Again, I can't go into too much detail, but it's got some really heavy hitters involved, and we've been trying to get this off the ground for the last 10 years, and now finally everything is coming to fruition. The point I'm trying to make is, had we quit, it would never have gotten to the point. The owners of the project were just here a couple of weeks back to get everything in order to start the pre-production phase, and because of that, we picked up another great project. I can't really go into detail about right now, but let's just say it has something to do with Sherlock Holmes in Turkey, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. But it's amazing.
Now, Darryl, do you have any projects in the U.S. that are going on right now, or is it mostly overseas?
Most of mine are overseas, but there are a couple of U.S. projects that I'm involved in. One is called Black Privilege. Black Privilege, White Power, and it's a project owned by a good friend of mine, Danielson. He's also an actor, a fashion designer as well, and it's a story that definitely needs to be told, and so be looking out for that as well in the not so distant future.
Everybody, that's my main man, Darryl Johnson, all the way from Turkey. Darryl, much love to you out there. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you all, and a big shout out to everybody out in the U.S. and stay strong, people. We're going to get through this.
Stay strong. Darryl, anytime something is coming out, let us know, and we will bring you back on the show, my friend.
Most definitely will. Most definitely will. Have a great day.
You as well, sir. All right, everybody. My next guest is an international singer and songwriter all the way from Los Angeles, California. She has catapulted her way to the top. She's known not just locally, but all over the world. Help me welcome the lovely, the talented Miss Brooklyn James. Brooklyn James.
Hey, Brandon. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Brooklyn. How are you, my friend?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. Brooklyn, we've known each other a long time. How many years do we go back?
Oh, my goodness. It's been some years. In fact, today is a full circle moment. I don't know if you know this, but my first exposure to overseas, one of my first exposures was through your brother, CJ. When he was over in Okinawa, he put me on his radio show. Wow. And so that was my first international audience. And so here we are again with the Hope Brothers.
There we go. And we got to connect you to Darryl Johnson so we can get you over in Turkey.
Yes, yes.
So, Brooklyn, we're looking forward to hearing you sing tonight. But tell us about yourself for those who don't know you.
Well, I am Brooklyn James. I started out in Los Angeles, California, in the churches. My mother and grandmother were both ministers. And so there was a lot of pressure on me to sing in church. And I did that for a while. In fact, I was a part of the First AME's children's choir and the youth choir, and went on to join the COC at a tender age of 14. And that's where we connected, right? Church of Christ. Mm-hmm. And while I was there, I was exposed to the Norwood family. Brother Norwood, he was directing the children's choir, and Brandy and Ray J were over there singing. And so because I was blessed to be around some wonderful people who had some musical talents, I was able to be exposed to the music industry as well. Yeah.
So what's most rewarding about what you do as an entertainer?
You know what? I am blessed to be able to do what I love. My motto is spreading love one melody at a time. And I really do take that, to heart when I sing and when I do things. If you're not feeling anything, it's not worth it. And so sometimes, not all the lyrics are, lovely, but they are going to make you feel something. And that's what I strive to do in every song.
So how important is image and attire? I noticed when I was looking at your bio, you take a lot of pictures, very beautiful young lady, you model for different companies. How important is it to really make sure that you present yourself in an attractive way when you step out on stage or in whatever your career choice is?
It's definitely important in any arena, and you have to know your audience. Now, what I will say is entertainment is tricky because some audience want to see a little more skin, and every fan doesn't understand that. And so being a church girl, that was always a struggle because some people felt like I was doing too much. But at the end of the day, I had to learn that you're not going to please people all the time. And no matter what you do, you're going to offend somebody. And so I had to check my heart. And if I felt like I was okay, then I had to move forward because worrying about what everyone else thought was driving me crazy. I got to a place where I was really depressed because I was trying to please everyone, and especially my family because they were church background and they didn't like seeing me in certain environments, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes God sends you to environments to affect those people that won't come to church. And that's what I have found has been my mission. And so I stand in that, and I'm okay with it at this stage.
So you know who you are. You're owning your truth. You have no shame, like they say, in your game.
Pretty much.
So what's next for you?
What is next? I am currently working on a mixtape project where I just found my favorite instrumentals. And they're songs that everyone pretty much will recognize, but I rewrote them with how I was feeling about them. And so that's going to be released this holiday season. I'm calling it the re-gift because I took those songs and repackaged them, and I'm going to give them to the world in a different way. And so, yeah.
So has COVID-19 impacted the industry, or is it, in a good way or a bad way? How are you navigating through these times?
I have found that COVID has caused everyone to become resourceful. Those traditional ways of doing things are all out the window, and it's about finding a new way to reach your audience, a new way to get your content heard, a new way to just stay motivated. And yeah, it's been a little different. I see some people are doing better than others, and I just pride myself on staying in my lane. I can't look over here and see what this person's doing and what that person's doing. I do what I do well. And that's causing me to be able to stay sane in these crazy times, for lack of a better way to put it.
So Brooklyn, I got a question for you. Anybody, and while we're doing that, we have questions coming in. One is from Michelle Peace Joy. What advice would you give someone trying to get into the business? We're going to come right back to that. But I just want to know, anybody can sing behind an instrumental track. Can we get an acapella, just a snippet, just drop a bar, any song, about 10, 15 seconds, and showcase your talent, because you don't know who's watching.
Okay. Looking out on the morning rain. I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind, but baby, you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel like a natural woman.
All right, everybody, give it up for the lovely Brooklyn James. Brooklyn, we have a question.
Oh, Brandon, you always got to put somebody on the spot, huh?
Now, Brooklyn, I would sing, but I need an instrumental track behind me to sing. Hey, Brooklyn, we have a question from Michelle Peace Joy Jen. What advice would you give to someone trying to get into the business?
You know what? Right now, it's very, very pro artist. And by that, what I mean is you have the ability to control who you get yourself in front of and who you're able to affect. And so I would say people who are trying to get in, first of all, figure out who you are and what makes you unique. Because when people see a new person and it automatically reminds them of X, Y, and Z, it's like, well, why would I buy your music when they're already out here doing this and I like them, right? And so what is it about you that is going to bring an audience to you? So I would say anyone who's trying to get in, first of all, figure out what's your niche, what makes you unique, and work that.
That's great, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, thank you so much for stopping by the show. And we're going to bring you back at the end to close us out with another musical performance. Thank you from Houston, Texas, all the way out to Los Angeles, California. Thank you,
Thanks for
Brooklyn.
having me, Brandon.
All right, Brooklyn, stand by. Brooklyn will bring you out in about 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll be here.
All right, everybody, we're going to go to a real quick commercial break. You do not want to miss my last guest. I'll introduce her when we come back. Strap your seatbelts on. Make sure you share the feed. Follow us on Instagram at Brandon Holt Show, at Brandon Holt Sr. Catch us on Facebook, Brandon Holt, also on the Brandon Holt Show. Here we go with our next guest. Going to a real quick commercial. We'll be right back.
Brandon thanks owner Craig Joseph of Houston, This Is It Soul Food, and sponsor of The Brandon Holt Show. Be sure and stop by and enjoy some tremendous food. 2712 Blodgett Street, McGregor, Houston, Texas. Thanks, Craig.
All right, everybody. My next guest is a community celebrity psychiatrist from Sarasota, Florida. She is on the front line battling the emotional and economic impact of mental illness. She has had a column in Family Circle magazine, Ask Dr. Janet. Dr. Janet is also frequently she's been featured on ABC, Good Morning America, NBC, The Today Show, CNN. She is a former host of the Discovery Health Own series. She is a returning guest to the Brandon Holt Show, and hopefully she will come back again with the segment called Ask Dr. J. Everybody, help me welcome my good friend, Dr. Janet Taylor. Janet Taylor.
Hello, Brandon. Anytime. I'm happy to come onto your show.
Janet, thank you. Janet, we go way back. What is it, 4 or 5 years now?
Yep, definitely.
Janet, you were tough on me when I went on the doctors. You were the one who interviewed me, and I tell you, you really made me think about who I was.
Well, everyone has a story to tell, and yours is so compelling, and I think we had a great conversation, and you were on and did a fantastic job.
Thank you, doctor. So you're in Florida. Y'all staying safe with all of the hurricanes out there?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say staying safe from all the COVIDiots here who will not wear their mask, but yes, we're safe.
Doc, where's your mask that says Dr. J?
It's here somewhere. I actually got one on Etsy. And I haven't worn it yet, but it does say Dr. J. So
all right, everybody, we're getting ready to go deep right now. If you have a comment, go ahead and put it in the chat section. If you have a question for Dr. J, we'll throw your question out there. You're talking to one of the best that has ever sat behind the desk. So here we go, Dr. J. Doc, I'm feeling really stressed out right now. This is just me personally. We're living in uncertain times. Travel has slowed down for entrepreneurs, and it's just kind of discouraging at times. Is it just me, or is this something many people are dealing with?
Well, it's definitely not just you. And I think everyone is uncertain. And the thing that, your viewers and listeners need to understand is that when our brains are uncertain, feel confused, it's so important that you reestablish your control, because our brain likes to be in control. And if you don't have a plan, then our brain will make up a worst case scenario, take you just along this roller coaster ride. So it's really important right now, if you're worried about, finances, create a budget. And if you need to get an extra job, you need to borrow money, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel more comfortable about whatever that major issue is that you are worrying about, come up with a plan and then just go on to the next one. But you are not alone. These are very challenging times from a health perspective, psychologically, spiritually. It's like every time you feel like you're getting over something, it's like you're tested again. But you know what? We were built for this, and we will make it through. So it's really important to shore up, to motivate yourself whatever way you can. You had, your great guest on earlier, Holly, talking about being physically fit, being mentally fit. We need it all right now, because this is all hands on deck, and it's our hands we need.
Oh, Dr. Taylor, tell us about during these times, triggers such as boredom, loneliness, anxiety is really trigger for a relapse or a mood altering substance. What kind of coping skills can you share with the person who's, taken the turn into substance abuse during COVID, just trying to navigate through the headache and the stress?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, as addicts know, or anyone that has been addicted to anything, like those triggers can happen. It could be a sound, it could be a smell, it could be seeing someone. So it's really important that you recognize what your triggers are. And also, loneliness and isolation can be a bigger risk factor for your health in terms of strokes, anxiety, depression, as smoking and drinking. So it's really critical, but it's really important now more than ever, especially in these days when we're doing a lot of telemedicine, telehealth. People don't have their normal resources and network that they used to have, and jobs that people take for granted, that people who, may have had addiction problems and are really building their self-esteem and confidence back up at, may not have those jobs. So, AA is still there, NA is still there, mental health, we're still working, your families are still there. Know your resources, gear up with your network, do things online, do whatever you can to keep yourself strong physically and mentally, knowing that this is a time where people may be triggered, but help is there. Help is always there.
So, Dr. Taylor, we're in the middle of election season. We don't know what's going to go down in November. There's a lot of unrest in our country right now. What do you, I'm really nervous just personally. Are we going to have another civil war?
We are not going to have a civil war. I think, our present person who's in the White House is operating on fear. And again, getting back to that brain and that unknown uncertainty, it really taps into something. But at the end of the day, we don't need an election to have a civil war. We have gone through so many things as people of color and with systemic racism and things that are unjust. Look at, the shootings that continue to happen of unarmed Black men, especially, and then unarmed Black women. So I don't think there's a timetable for a civil war. My experience, I've worked at Rikers, I've worked in jails, still work with people who have been arrested now. Most people don't want conflict. Most people don't want to hurt each other. Will there be tension? Yes, but I think now's the time to be vigilant. If you see someone that seems a little unhinged, a little extra, stay away from them. Watch where you're going at night. Certainly, people are desperate. There are a lot of people who do not have enough food, don't have housing. So I think you really have to pay attention. But at the end of the day, our human nature is one of peace and one of problem solving. So I think that's a mindset that we need to be into. Yes, we can be divided in terms of who we support, what policies we agree with, but we need to unify under something. And I think that unification is the fact that we are all human beings. We are all American citizens. We are all people trying to be American citizens. And we can get through this if we allow our head and heart to lead us and not get drawn into someone else's agenda. So stay focused on your own purpose, vote for people in your own communities, advocate for your kids in school, advocate for yourselves. But we have more power within our households and within ourselves than someone outside of us. So this is a time to think about that. Vote. It's not too late, depending on where you live, to register to vote and get active. But this is not the time to sit back and feel hopeless. This is a time to reclaim what we have built for 400 years and what we are entitled to. So reclaim your power now.
Do you expect a surge in mental health uncertainty or mental health issues post-election, or is it primarily pre-election?
For most people, it's both, right? This life, like somebody wins, somebody loses, but most of us understand that concept, because I don't know anyone that has not been through pain or suffering or lost something before. So part of the beauty of losing is how you get up the next day and what you continue to fight for. 4 years ago, I'm not going to lie. I was devastated. I had a migraine for 5 days, but then, I was waiting for this time to come around where we can make some changes. So it's not always, you don't always have to win to learn, but you have to be ready to continue to be principled and continue to fight for what you want. So it's going to be tough, but it is not insurmountable. So we just need to just stay ready, stay adaptable, and stay present, and we'll be all right.
I like what you're saying. Real quick, let's go to the stigma of medication. I know a psychologist, you're a psychiatrist, so you actually have the ability to prescribe medication. But there's a stigma, especially in the African-American community, that if you take mental health medication, you're considered less than. So let's talk about, prescribing medication, the pros and the cons, And what can you say to that person who's kind of in the middle right now? They want to go see a doctor, but they don't want to. Maybe I could self-medicate and get the same results.
Well, so self-medicating, when people may use alcohol, may use other drugs, or people can self-medicate, distract themselves in other ways, sex, gambling, porn, whatever, takes you away from the real problem. And, our mental health, both positive and negative, comes from our brain. Our brain occupies 2% of our body weight, utilizes 25% of our blood glucose and oxygen. So what we eat, how we exercise, how we think, work out, meditate, who we associate with, our genes, it all plays a part in our brain. When someone has a mental illness, it's usually because of something that has gone wrong in our brain, right? Depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, even how we react to things. And so if you are at a point where longer than 2 weeks, you're depressed, you're sad, you're hopefully, not suicidal, but maybe overeat, undereat, not sleeping, all of these things, and you feel like you need to go talk to someone, which may be your doctor or healthcare provider, psychologist, social worker, go do it. Worst case, they may tell you something you don't want to hear, but probably you already know. Best case, they can help you. So if you're depressed or bipolar or anything, medication is just one way to solve it. The other part is talk therapy. The other part may be if you're depressed because you're about to get evicted or, you lost your job. Well, there are programs that can help you with your rent. There are programs that can help you find a job. So it's really looking at all of your situations and finding a way and a plan to get out. Or it may be relationship, or physical abuse, domestic violence, emotional abuse. There are some situations that you don't need to endure anymore, you need to get out of, and you may need some support around that. So to your original question, how do we fight the stigma? We need to lose the stigma. In my experience, has been for Black and brown people, we are losing that. I see more men than ever who are willing to come in and talk about how they feel. As women, we usually will talk about it. Some of the bigger barriers are cost, in terms of it can be expensive, but in your county, there's a mental health county association. There are numerous chat lines and things that you can do for free online. There are with apps, Headspace they have. Insight Timer is a free app for meditation. So be resourceful, look around. Don't let cost be a barrier if you know that you need mental health treatment. And lastly, I would say the World Health Organization says there is no physical health without mental health. We are one body, but we have to pay as much attention to our brain health as we do looking good in our clothes. Because as you get older, like in terms of fighting dementia, and one of the biggest risk factors for dementia is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, being obese. And so all those factors that we can do something about, in your 30s, 40s, and 50s so that you can age well, which is really the goal. And as we get older, we get wiser. And all those things that we're talking about right now, like older people have a way of saying like, it's going to be all right, right? And they know that things will work themselves out. Not that you shouldn't stop, but you have to stay active. So we need to create a generation of healthy, aged people who are aging well so they can continue to give us the wisdom and hope that we need.
Dr. Taylor, lately I've felt like throwing in the towel as far as my career or, some of the endeavors that I've been working on because, sometimes you get a lot of compounding issues. You're dealing with this, then here comes this, and here comes that. I'm trying to do this, do that. And I feel the burden of stress on me. And I say, you know what? Let me just throw it all away and go work a regular side job and have some peace. Maybe somebody else watching tonight feels the same way. They're just ready to throw in the towel. Not suicidal per se, but just throw in the towel, give it up. And you're a motivational speaker, and the world needs motivation tonight. We need some kind of hope that we can pick our head back up and keep pushing and keep going. And I believe that you were providentially brought to this segment so you can pick the world up tonight, Doc. Next 60 seconds, take us up.
Take us up. Well, so where there's darkness, there's light, right? Where there's despair, there's hope. I mean, that's eternal. But my experience has been, it's not about giving up, but it's taking that next step, which doesn't have to be a leap, but just a little step, because you never know what you can find. I mean, if you look at water boils at 212 degrees. Some people get 211. All you need to do is push yourself to that 212, and you never know what can happen. And Gurdjieff was a philosopher I love reading about, and he just would say, like, if you had walked 99 miles and you're cold and you finally make it home, the light's on and you want to go in, you need to walk another mile and then come back, because it just pushes you to your edge. And most of us do not maximize what our edge is, and it's within us. So it's not about giving up on your hopes and dreams, but it is about being realistic. Like, you can't deplete the bank account forever, but no one can ever tell you, no, you can't do something. But it's about having a plan. It's about being prepared. It's about telling people. I mean, look at you, Brandon. I mean, you have your own TV show and you're on all the social media, and I mean, you continue to grow. So I think you're a lesson to many people, certainly to me. I could not do what I see you doing before the show, after the show. So I think it really is about never letting anyone step on your dreams and continuing to fight and have a plan, and just know that the way it's supposed to be, it will be, but it doesn't just happen. It is always hard work. And most of us do not know the work that other people do to achieve their dreams, but you have to keep trying. Like, that's innate. That's within us.
That's great. And everybody, this is Dr. Janet Taylor, celebrity psychiatrist. Dr. Taylor, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Everybody's watching. I don't know what you're going to say, but I can see a segment maybe once a month or twice a month, 2 minutes with Dr. J on the Brandon Holt Show. What about that?
Once a month. One of the things you have to also be is decisive, and don't take on more than you can. So, Brandon, yes. Absolutely.
All right, everybody, that's Dr. J. Dr. J, love you. Thank you for coming on. Good to see you, and we will see you soon. Everybody, what a great show. Thank you for all the comments. Everybody has been participating. We're going to close it out with the one and only Brooklyn James from Los Angeles, California, international singer and songwriter. Brooklyn, take it away.
All right, I'll take it out. I just want to encourage everyone out there. Dr. Janet, I love what you just said. And this song is called Silver Lining. It's going to be all right. Can you tell me where are you going? Can you tell me what are you doing? Cause it seems to me like you're in such a rush. Want to slow it down, stop making such a fuss. How can you say that? Now is the day that you have had enough, said you won't take no more. I know it's rough, but there is more in store for you. Hey, yeah, that's when life decides that you will overcome. So I know you're feeling down right now. A silver lining's in your cloud right now. Hold on, be strong. Things won't always be the same. You gotta find the strength to fight until you win. Yeah. You can lean on me when you're hurting. You can call on me when you're lonely. Cause I know that it gets hard sometimes. There are days when you just wanna cry. Please don't just say that. Now is the day that you would rather go and end it all. Life is precious to us after all. We all have good days, all the bad days filled with laughter, followed by pain. There's a rainbow after the rain. Today you'll cry, but you'll smile again. You look back on all of this and laugh as you reminisce, and you show that you're grown, cause you know that there's more to life than living. So I know you're feeling down right now. A silver lining's in your cloud right now. Hold on, be strong. Things won't always be the same. You gotta find the strength to fight until you win. Listen to this part, y'all. Life is full of ups and downs. Smiles and frowns will come your way. But it's not all about the situation, but it's how you handle it. Remember that I know you're feeling down right now. Hold on, be strong, things won't always be the same. You gotta find the strength to fight until you win. 'Cause things won't be so bad right now. Hold on, be strong. You gotta find the strength to fight until you win. I think that's the message that's appropriate for 2020.
Hey, everybody. That
Hold on,
is
y'all. It's gonna
Brooklyn
be all right.
James, international recording artist. Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 14 of the Brandon Holt Show. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Brandon Holt Sr. or SR at Brandon Holt Show. Follow us on YouTube, The Brandon Holt Show, which also streamed live as well, and always on Facebook, Brandon Holt or The Brandon Holt Show. Next week, you do not want to miss next week. We have a powerful show coming. We have 4 actors coming on the show that are world-renowned. See you next week. Same time, same place, from my heart to yours. Thank you for tuning in to The Brandon Holt